Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to the Code Cracker. We will simplify the C++ programming for you. In today's tutorial, we are diving into the essential concept, loops, and the jump statement in C++. If you want to improve your coding efficiency and avoid the repetitive code, this video is for you. So let's get started without wasting any time. Let's give a start to the what are loop. I will give a detailed introduction about the loop and why we use loop in C++. In programming, loops help to execute a block of code. In programming a loop help us to execute a block of code for multiple time, and it helped reducing the redundant code. There are three types of common loops in C++: for loop and while loop and do while loop. Basically, why we use the loop. For example, if you want to add the multiple additions, we have to do the multiple addition in the C++. Like I want to add the two variable a and plus b. If someone asks you to add the a plus b 100 times, you have to write the whole line 100 times to add the code. To reduce this thing, we use the loop that help to write the code, but using a single line, and it also helps in the redundation of codes. Uh, for example, if you want to add the multiple variables, but you don't want to waste you have a less time, but you want to write this whole addition in the 3 minutes. That's why we use the loop that help to increase the efficiency, and that help the retention of code and also minimize the size of code lines. That's why we use the loop. There are three common type of loop: for loop and while loop. There are difference between the for loop, while loop, and do while loop. In many cases, we use the for loop. In many cases, we use while loop and do while loop. But most commonly, we use the for loop because it is efficient. Because it have in this loop, we know the number of iterations. For iteration is the stages that we cover on depend the stages that we cover. For example, if we are adding the two numbers 1 and 3, the we want to add it 100 times. The this number of nth term is known as stages. Like we add a first time, we add a second time, we add a third time. The first, second, third, and fourth, so on to 100 is the number of stages. It's also known as iteration. In for loop, we know the number of iteration, how much iteration we are going to perform to be provide a desired result. But in while loop, the number of iteration is not given. It depends upon the condition. If the condition is false, it make it if the condition is false. If the condition is false, the loop will start continuing. If the condition get true, the loop will be terminated and executed. I will give you example of for loop. This is the for loop example. The basic syntax of the for loop is that first of all, we have write a keyword that is known as for, and then we use the brackets. Then we want to initialize the variable that holding the stages, and then the condition that depend upon the condition. Until this condition satisfied, it will get stopped and update. It basically used to increase the number of increase the number of stages depend upon you. For example, this is the example of code for int. Int is the initialization of the number of stage that I iteration. This condition, if the condition met, it will stop the loop. The loop will be not be continue. And I plus plus is the increment of the one by one. Like we start it, loop will start from the one, and it will increment of one every time when the loop go to the stages. For example, if the it is one, when we use the increment with the I, in the next stage it will become two. In third stage it will become three, and in fourth stage it will become five. It will reach until it is equal to the five. If it reaches the until to equal to the five, the will it will be terminated because the condition will be satisfied and condition will be true, and the loop will be stopped. And the output is here. The output, I will show you output with a laser pointer. This is output here, 1 2 3 4 5. It will stop at the 5 target position when the condition met true. This is the for loop. And while loop, basically while loop is the loop where we don't know about the numbers of iteration, how many iteration is going to be do in the loop. We just know about the condition. In while loop, the syntax of the while loop is that first of all we have to write the while keyword, then the condition with the in the brackets, and the curly braces. Condition is the condition that we're going to perform. For example, this is code. We have declared the int and I, that I is equal to 1. Then we will going to loop until the condition satisfied true. For example, if I reach equal to 5, the loop will be stopped and the desired output will be shown on the screen. For example, and see out I, simply we're going to print the I, and this is increment operator will be inside the while loop. When we're going to increase the value one by one, we have to use the increment operator inside the while loop. Now we are using I plus plus that increase the value by adding a 1 1. For example, the initial value is 1. When it do the increment, it will become the 2, and after the third stage of increment it will become the sorry, after the second stage of increment it will become the 2, and third it will become 3, and it will fourth it will become fourth, and fifth it will become 5, until the condition will be satisfied. If it is equal to the 5, like 5 equal to 5, then the loop will be stopped and the desired output will be shown in screen. That the output is then generated from the cout function, which simply is printing out the um, number of iterations. And do while loop. Do while loop is similar to while loop, but the main difference is with while loop, even the condition is true. In while loop, basically it loop until the condition is false. If the condition is true, it will not loop. But in do while loop, it will loop even the condition is true, even the condition is false. It doesn't depend upon the condition. It loop at least once when the condition is either false, either true. It doesn't depend upon the condition. Uh, it automatically loop at once. Even the condition is false, even the condition is true. The syntax of the do while loop is that we use the do keyword and curly braces and the while, then the condition. First of all, we declare the integer that is equal to I is equal to 1. Then we use the do keyword with the curly braces, std cout, basically going to print out this iteration I, and increment, that is increasing the one value, adding a one value to this initial variable. For example, in the one stage, if we use add this value, cout 1 will be printed. And the second stage, it do the increment, it add the 1 into the initial value, that become 2, and this 2 will be printed on the screen. And 3, and this 3 stage, the 3 will be printed on, and the while condition will be after the while after the in while condition. We have to initialize the condition. If the condition get true, it will be stop the loop. And while condition I is equal to greater than 5, either I is greater than 5, or uh, either I less than 5, either I greater than 5. If this desired condition match, then the loop will be get stopped and the desired output will be shown on screen like this. In this code, it will make the iteration, that is 1. In the second stage it will become 2, in third stage it will become 3, in fourth stage it will become 5 4, in fifth stage it will become 5. And now we know that the condition met because 5 equal to 5. Then the our desired output will be shown, that is 1 2 3 4 5. Now, give a start to the jump statement. What is a jump statement? Basically, jump statement is used to allow to control the move the different parts of code without following the normal flow. It basically used to override the normal flow of code and perform the your given flow to the code. Basically, there are many types of jump statement, but most commonly we use the break and continue. There is go to, but the go to is not most commonly used. It is make the your coder harder. So I'm not going to explain the Jagoto in this lecture because it is not used in our C++. Basically, it is used but not most commonly used. Whenever we're going to write the code, we able to use the break and continue, but not a go to as most. Let's give a start to the what is a break statement. Basically, break statement is used to exist a loop for a switch statement permanently. For example, we are controlling a loop, but we want to terminate loop at the desired condition without checking the without checking the condition. For example, there is this is a for loop that initialize the I. It will the loop will be stopped when the I become 5, but we want to stop the loop. Sorry, we this is I accidentally write the continue. Just um, there is a problem here. Let me edit this for you. There is a mistake in my slide, so I just correct that mistakes for you. There is a mistake that continue is written here, so I simply change into the break because we are explaining the break statement. I will give you a full overview about the break statement. Break statement is used to override the flow of a desired loop. For example, if we want to uh, break the loop before the end condition met, for example, we have initialized that I is equal to 1. It will stop until it reaches the desired condition, that is 5. Until it becomes the 5, it will loop will be stopped. But we want to stop the loop at desired condition without checking this condition. Without checking uh, s- uh, without checking this condition without checking this condition, we have to stop the loop on other condition. That's why we use the break statement. We want to stop the loop loop when it reached at the 3 condition. That's why we use the break. Simply what we have to do, we have to use the if statement that I were earlier explaining you the previous lecture. The if statement that basically you depend upon the condition. If I equal to 3, it's mean I is equal to 3, then it will transfer. If is then the loop, it will transfer into the inside the if statement. There is a break keyword that basically stop the loop, and only 1 2 will be printed on the screen. The coming numbers will not able to print on the screen because it will stop the um, what we call it, it will stop the loop until it reach to the 3 position. That's why we used to stop that we were used a break statement to stop the number of iteration at particular instant if we want to break our a number of iterations. And like if it reach to the 3, when it reaches the 3, it will move to the inside the if statement. There is a break keyword that help that the loop will be get stopped. That's why we use break that will skip the rest of code, and when I is equal to 3, skip the rest of code and the desired output will be shown. The output that we are going to we are able to see in the output is that 1 and 2, because every code will be the 1 and 2 will be display on the screen. The other part of the code will be get skipped. And what is a continuous statement? Continuous statement. Basically, continuous statement is the opposite of the break statement. Continuous statement is skip the remaining code. A continuous statement is basically used to skip the remaining part of the code and move to the other part. Basically, this is the example that we are initializing the for loop int I is equal to 1 and int greater than the 5. If we don't want to add this 3 number into the iteration, we simply use the continuous statement that skip that part of the iteration and move to the further part. For example, for int I is equal to 1 and int is greater than equal to 5, and it take the iteration, and when it reaches to the iteration 3, it will move inside the if statement. That is, in if statement there is a continue keyword that basically help to skip the this part of iteration in the loop, and this part will be skipped, and the only the desired output will be shown, except the 3 will output will be not shown in the screen because the number of iteration that is equal to 3 will get skipped. The output will be is that 1 2 4 5 3 will be get skipped because in this code I is equal to 3, that we using a continuous keyword that skip the part of this iteration and move to the next iteration. This is the theory of this concept. Let move to the code example. So this is my C++. Simply I'm going to write the code, then I will explain the code. Okay, this is the code that in this code I write the three types of loop in different lines, so you can understand what is for loop, what is a while loop, and what is do while loop. Basically, first of all, we initialize the library data stream for input and output operation that always you know about this. So I'm not going to brief about this, explain brief about this. So simply we go to the main function that we write this out. Why I write this out function to display the which type of loop is we are writing, which type of loop is the iteration is displaying on the screen. For in the first line I write the message, this is the for loop that's showing the iteration. For loop, first of all, for loop we have to initialize the iteration that start from which initial position the iteration would be start. It would start from the 0 and move toward the 5. And in C plus we know that the 0 is the initial value, then it will become 0 1 2 3 4 5, and it will reach the fourth position. And the I plus plus is the increment that will make the increment of 1 in every iteration. Simply that is pretty much about this, and the slash n to display the every iteration number from new line. So it start from 0, and the first it will display the 0 1 2 3 4 5, and the iteration will still display in the number of lines. And uh, the for the this eighth line is about the while loop. First of all, for the while loop, we have to initialize the number of iteration that we are going to start, from which number of iteration we are going to start. We in this while loop we have to initialize it outside the while loop. So simply I initialize it in the int k is equal to 1, and the statement that will show that this is the while loop, and the slash n that will be make the one line difference from the cout function that is above, that is this is for loop. From the that coming last value of iteration, it will give a one line space, and this message will display on the screen. This is while loop, and the initialization is k, that is equal to 0. It check the condition k is equal to 5. Now we know that k is equal to 0. It will move inside this, and k will be printed, that is 0, and then it will make the increment, and 0 plus 1 it will become 1, and then now the value will be changed, it will become 1, and then it will again make an increment and will become 2, and so on until it will reach to the 5, then the condition become true. It will make the iteration. Now for do while loop, we know that it will make iteration at least once, even the condition is true or false. It doesn't depend upon the condition. So first of all, we in do while loop we also need to be initialize the initial stage of iteration outside the loop, that is j is equal to 0, and cout that differ this loop is the do while loop. And then do in this first of all the syntax is this, that do, then we have to display the message that we are going to do block of code, then the j, that increment of the 1 in this code, and the condition if j reach equal to 5, then the iteration will stop. It will do the loop at least one. After making the loop at least one, then it will make the iteration. Then it will print the 0 because j value is initially 0. Then and make the increment of 1, that it become 1, and the 1 is displayed on the screen, and so on till the 5 until the condition get true. This is the difference between the loop. Now I will execute, and you will able to understand what I'm saying about this. Now you can see there, this is the for loop, and 0 1 2 3 4 5 is printed, and this is the while loop 0 1 2 3 4 5. The all loop has the um, same answer, same result, but the difference is going to be performed in the different type of program you are going to perform. It's your choice which type of loop you are going to use in your programming. But in many scenario you will use for loop, and there is case you have to use the do while loop because it execute at least once There are different scenario, and the basis of scenario you have to choose which type of loop you are going to choose. You are going to use for performing the performing the operations. Now talk about the break statement. How break statement works. Simply, break statement will work like this. If I use the if statement here and make that we have to stop the for loop after it reach to the target position 3. If I make it equal to 3, then I will use the curly braces to move inside the if statement. That is basic syntax of if statement. Then I will use the break keyword that stop the loop. That's it. This is the break statement. Now if I execute it, I will continue the execution until 3 the whole loop will be stopped, and it will printed only 1 2 in the screen. If I execute this code, you will see you can see that 0 1 2 is already printed. Because of this, this is because we use a break statement that will break the loop, and if it reach to the 3 target position, that is I reach to the target position 3. This is the this is why we use break statement to override the flow of the loop. And now I will explain about the continue statement. Why we use the continue statement, I will explain in this while loop condition, so you can understand how to use in the different types of condition. So simply, what should I do? I will write the if it reach to the 3, then the statement will be get continue, and the statement will be get continue. That's is pretty much about the continue statement. If it reach to the target 3, the iteration reach to the target 3, it will skip the 3 number iteration and move to the 4, and 3 will be not be display on the screen. 3 number of iteration will be not display on the screen. This iteration will be get skipped from the number of iterations. So simply, I will compile and run, and you will able to understand. If sorry, in this number of iteration we are using k, so simply we have to write here k, and then I will execute it and compile and run. Will be printed there is some error, and let me check. Then I will make you. This is while loop 0 1 2. Where is the problem? Okay, we have to use this increment before there because increment is not happening. So I think so. Okay. The problem is here in this code is that because we have to initialize the increment before the continue statement, before the continue job condition. So I simply initialize the k plus plus from before the continue statement. Now it is printing the desired output. If I compile and run, and you will see there in for loop, we do the break statement that simply break the loop, and if it reaches to the 3 target position, the loop will be stopped, and the further remaining will be not display on the screen. So it will only display 1 0 1 2. But in this while loop, we use the continuous statement that skip the desired target position that you want to skip, or skip the 3, and the remaining will be get printed then like this. 1 2 1 2 4 5 6 3 will get skipped. But in do while loop, we don't use any type of break statement and any type of continuous statement, so it's simply going to print out the desired result, that is 0 1 2 3 4 5. That is pretty much about this. Mm, this that is pretty much about the loops and the jump statements. So if you like my videos, please give a thumb ups, and see you in the next video. If you The link of the slides and the source code is provided in the description, so go and check it out. Okay, Allah, see you in the next video.